This video is the women's fashion ads case study on how we generated a 84K return, let's just round it up, from 25K spend at a 3.37 ROAS in the first 30 days. Basically taking them from running discounts and destroying the brand, which is what was happening, to getting new customers profitably without any discounting. And in this video, I'll go over exactly how we did that. I'm Brandon, one of the co-founders of Digiceptual. We specialize in scaling fashion, beauty, and jewelry brands with ads. We've been doing this for over 5 years, and below are just some of the women's fashion brands we scale. For example, New York Dress, Nonchalant Label, Cult of Coquette, Rusha, JMP The Label, Lady Black Tie, Alex Bohemia, and many more, right? You can take a look here. And we have over 17 video testimonials and client interviews from women's fashion founders like you on their results and experience working with us. So below are just some of them, like I was just show you the screenshots of them, but you can see all of them after in the video description if you're on YouTube, or the link in bio if you're on Instagram, right? Just to show you some of the testimonials here. Just quick screenshots of the page. Now, this case study is very straightforward. I'll first quickly cover where they were the past 30 days before we came in. Then I'll cover our approach and what we did to turn things around and get this result in the first 30 days of us coming in. Now let's jump into it. So here are some further details on this women's fashion brand. Their main market is the US. The price points are $100 and higher, and the products are women's clothing. Now, 30 days before we came in, this was the result, right? From January 9 to February 6, 2025. So the spend was like 8.5, they got a 2.81, and the return was 24K. Now, only 2 campaigns running, but really only one, because since the campaign at the top with 1.59 ROAS barely got any spend, so we'll just focus talking about the second campaign. I won't show the entire ad to keep the brand confidential, but I'll show you parts of the ads so you can understand what was happening, right? So for example, in this ad set that was going after new customers that I highlighted, so they called it Cold Broad. So this is like a 2.89 with a $827 return, right? This was the ad that was running. The caption was this. It was like, use code X and enjoy 40% off your purchase. And in the image, it had this, like 40% off site-wide. Here's another ad set, this one with the highest return, right? So this one is called Warm 90 Days. So this one had this one spent $780, 3.98 return at a 3.1K, 3.98 ROAS at a 3.1K return. So now, this was just a remarketing and retargeting campaign, meaning whoever was running their ads wasn't even focused on getting new customers, right? The ads and ad creatives were like this, right? Use code X and enjoy 40% off your purchase. And in the creative, it was also the same, like use code X at checkout, right? So basically, this is what was happening. One, the blatantly obvious one, the person or agency that was running the ads, was relying heavily on discounts to drive sales that aren't even profitable for the brand. 2, because of this heavy discounting, they were also devaluing the brand image, and they were filling the brand's customer list with discount shoppers instead of shoppers who buy for the brand and the product itself. Very big difference. And the ROAS is inflated, which means their real ROAS is actually lower than a 2.81 overall. 3, they're spending way too much on remarketing. 4, there was no testing going on at all. And 5, there's no structure or strategy in the ad account at all, which is the most likely reason why they use discount as a crutch, right? Because if they have the strategy, they just rely on discounts, right? And they don't have a systematic way to get new customers profitably. Now, below is the result of the first 30-day campaigns of us coming in, right? As you saw in the beginning, right? We spent 25K roughly, 3.37 return and an 84K return. We've been working with them for over 4 months now at the time of this recording, in case you're curious. It wasn't just a one and done thing, like okay, just 30 days and that's it, was done, right? Now, you may think a ROAS increase from 2.81 to 3.37, which is a 0.56 increase, is a small increase. But keep in mind, their ROAS was inflated before we came in. So their real ROAS is way lower than a 2.81. Our 3.37 ROAS is almost all from new customers buying at full price. So it was a significant increase. Now, I'll go into our approach and what we did to get this result. Our approach to scaling ads is getting new customers profitably, not remarketing or retargeting to existing audiences and customers. From a funnel perspective, almost all top of funnel focus, TOF, not middle or bottom of funnel focus, which is MOF and BOF. On average, 96% of the campaigns and ad spends is at TOF and 4% on remarketing at MOF and BOF. That's how we like to do it. The reasoning is simple. 1, The brand can only grow if there's a constant flow of new customers coming in, otherwise, it will plateau. It will plateau because the brand always has a limited number of people in their existing audience and customer list. So they can only make a limited amount of sales from them. The only way they can make more sales from them is if they are able to get new customers into the brand. And the best part is there's no limit when it comes to getting new customers, which means the scale potential has no limit. 2, since the brand is already remarketing to their existing audiences and customers via channels like organic, email, SMS, etc., focusing ads on remarketing too is overlapping with those channels and wasting precious ad spend. So that's our approach to scaling. Now we'll dive into what we did. So one of the campaigns we immediately started with is a testing campaign that's ABO. So the screenshot here is called Sandbox Creative. You may need to zoom in on this if you're watching on Instagram, right? So in the first 30 days, it's been like 11K, 3.35 ROAS at a 36K return. Meaning we are testing in a manual campaign where we have most control on where the spend goes. That's an ABO campaign, for a bit more technical term. Now, it's not CBO or Advantage Shopping Campaign, which is also known as ASC, which are automatically done by Meta, meaning they dictate where they spend depending on their algo and stuff like that. You don't have the control. Whereas ABO, we have the most control. We use CBO and ASC for scaling, which comes later. Here's a hot take. Testing in CBO and ASC campaigns isn't testing at all because Meta is automating the campaign for you. So it's essentially throwing shit on the wall and seeing what sticks if you use this for testing, right? That's the nuance. To test means you have to control the process to not only understand what works, but why they work. That's the secret sauce we use to replicate success with new ads. Not just, okay, Meta says this works, but I don't really know why exactly. YOLO, right? We want to know what models work, what backgrounds work, what camera angles work, what lifestyle settings work, all of it. Right? From our experience and track record, we pretty much know what works for women's fashion brands. But there are always new insights we can pick up since each brand has their differences. From the beginning of the testing campaign, we tested a minimum 15 new ads to find new winning angles. Each ad set has at least 3 ads. This testing is done every single week, not just a one and done. That's what it takes to scale on new customers profitably. Now, here are some of the testing ad sets we did in the beginning. From the ROAS, you can see which one has potential and which one doesn't, right? So like February 8th, here's some February 8th testing. This ad set has 2.26 ROAS, so there's potential there. This one has 0.09, so nothing there. This one has 2.82, okay, very good potential. This one has 0.96, not much, right? So you can see which one has potential, right? So let's take a look at this one example here, this February 8th ad set with a 2.82 ROAS, right? It's a very clear sign that there are winners here. In the ad set, we can clearly see what the winner is here, right? So in this ad set, there were 4 ads we were testing. And this one specific ad is spent $775, 3.28 ROAS at a 2.5K return. Here's the ad, right? Obviously, parts blurred out. So the caption, very simple. Image, very simple. There's no crazy discounts at all, just a simple caption and a simple creative that clearly shows the product. You can see, you can make it out for what it is. Here's another testing ad set example. So for example, this one, right? This one spent $300, 2.26 ROAS, $675 return. From the test, this one has potential to scale. So there's $283 spent, 2.3 ROAS, $675 a return. Here's the ad, right? Again, no crazy discounts at all. Just a simple caption and video creative that clearly shows the product. You can make out for what it is. All right. Once we have the first winners, we immediately put them in scaling campaigns while we keep testing to find new winners. Here's a scaling campaign. Now let's talk about scaling campaigns, right? For example, for scaling, we use a mix of ABO, ASC, and CBO campaigns. So we use all 3. We don't just rely on one type of campaign because things can change quickly and we want to hedge our risk. So if all our scaling campaigns are ASC, for example, and then Meta does a big change or something unexpected happens in the market, then now the ASC campaigns go to shit, sales tank, and we have to rebuild. We want to avoid that. Whereas if we use all 3, it doesn't matter if one gets affected, we still have the others. Also, we found that certain types of scaling campaigns can work better for others depending on the brand. For example, as you can see, zoom in if you need to, the CBO scaling campaign didn't do so well, right? It spent $260, only $265 return, right? Whereas ASC and ABOs, the scaling campaigns do well for this brand. Scaling is very straightforward. So just to highlight the results, if you're just more listening in, right? For example, the ABO campaigns, it all scales above a 3 ROAS. Like this one ABO scaling campaign is a 3.97. This other ABO campaign on top of funnel, 3.4. ASC is at 2.76. It's still profitable for them, so we're fine with that, right? Now, scaling is very straightforward. Let's circle back. We took the new winning ads we got from our testing and also previous winners that the brand has without the discounts and scaled them up. And every time we have new winning ads from testing, we just throw them into the scaling campaigns, right? So this is scaling part is actually more simple. The part that they get down is the testing, right? And the restructuring. So you can see how we restructured and built our campaigns based on what they were missing and what they needed. All right. Now, last thing is audience exclusions on scaling campaigns. Now, this is something important, especially for ASC campaigns. Since we are scaling on new customers profitably, we make sure the campaigns are actually going after new customers. To do this, we add audience exclusions and existing customer caps. If we don't do this, the scaling campaigns will remarket more than we'd like to. For example, in our ASC scaling campaign, right, we have a 4% existing customer budget cap, meaning Meta won't spend more than 4% on remarketing. So that means 96% of the ad spend is on getting new customers profitably. So as you can see here, right, we have this box ticked off and it's 4%, right? So in summary, we built our testing campaigns, found new winning angles, and scaled them up. It sounds very simple, like obviously on a high level overview, right? But this is the high level, right? That's how we got this result for them in the first 30 days. That's how we spent 25K, 3.37 ROAS, and an 84K return, 96%, almost all from new customers, and we're getting them profitably, right? Below is the results so far, ever since we started with them to the time of making these case studies, right? So from February 7th to June 18, 2025, that's when I'm recording this, right? We spent a total of $118. The average ROAS is a 3, and they've 3.03 to be more exact. And the total return is so far is 357,000, right? 96%, almost all from new customers profitably, and they're scaling pretty well, right? No more discounts, no more destroying the brand, nothing, right? The core structure and system on the campaign level is still the same, right? Because everything is done in the ad set and ad level. So you can see here, most of the original scaling campaigns are still here, but there are some new ones like more new ABOs, a new CBO that we tested, right? Like it's still with CBO, we tried again. It didn't really work out well, but with new ABO campaigns, they work really well. So we just keep doing that. So here's a testing campaign below. You can see we never stop testing, right? So this is still the sandbox creative one, right? Here's some April testing, May testing, June testing. It never stops, right? So that wraps up this quick women's fashion case study. If you want to see more fashion case studies, you can check out the case study playlist we have on, if you're on YouTube, or just scroll down if you're on Instagram to find the other case studies, or just go on our YouTube and whatever you prefer, right? We also have a lot of other actionable content that you can use to help scale your brand further and profit with ads. If you're interested in working with us, first, I encourage you to do your research and due diligence first. And when you feel like this is for you and you are serious about working with us, then you can book a call with me with a Calendly link on YouTube. So it can be in the YouTube main channel page or in the video description, or just simply the link in bio on our Instagram. And then we'll see how we can help scale your brand too.